My boyfriend thinks the car I won automatically belongs to him. Now, his family is trying to make me keep it, and I think I might not want to keep the relationship either. I, 23F, won a brand new compact car in a raffle at a trade show I attended for work a few weeks ago, which is amazing. However, I already have an older car that I really like, and I just finished paying it off. Now I can switch to cheaper liability-only insurance. My current car still has plenty of life left in it, with only about 100k miles. Plus, if I were to choose a new car, the one I won wouldn't be my top pick. After doing some research, I found out that after taxes and shipping, I can make about $14-15k from selling the car. That money would be a fantastic start after graduating college, more than tripling my savings. My boyfriend, 25M, has been without a car for a few months. He's been having some financial difficulties, so he hasn't been able to get a new one yet. However, he can walk to the grocery store, get a ride to work, and I drive us anywhere else we need to go. It's been working out fine, and I don't mind at all. He helps out with gas and driving. Just for context, he lives with friends, while I live with my dad rent-free, so I've been able to save up money. I definitely see a future with him, but we haven't discussed moving in together yet, though we are very serious about each other. I went to a gathering at his parents' house last night, and everyone congratulated me on winning the car. However, everyone, including my boyfriend, seemed to think the obvious thing to do was to either give the car to him or give him my current car and keep the new one. I don't plan on doing either of these things. It would be different if we were married or living together and sharing finances, but we're not at that point in our relationship. I don't feel it's my responsibility to give him what essentially amounts to $15,000 in cash. If I had won the money instead, nobody would be suggesting that I just give it all to him. The car and the money from selling it should rightfully be mine. It's not fair for me to feel pressured into providing him with a free car, whether it's my current $5,000 car that I really like or this brand new one. During dinner at his family's house, I stayed quiet because I was so shocked by their assumption and didn't want to cause a scene in front of his entire extended family. How do I gently communicate to him and his family that this car and the money from it are not his in any way? Update 1. The day after the family gathering where everyone assumed I'd just let my boyfriend use the car for free, I had to drive into the city where I won the car to sign some paperwork and pay fees. Since we both had the day off, I asked my boyfriend if he'd like to come along and we could walk around the city and grab some food afterward. He agreed, and I picked him up. We hadn't talked about the night before at all. During the drive, he asked some general questions about what I had to do that day, and I explained everything, including how the taxes on the car were going to be several $1,000s. Luckily, I could cover them with my savings until I sold the car, hopefully for around $14-15k, based on my brother's estimates. There was a moment of quiet in the car, and then he asked, "You don't want to keep it?" I replied no, explaining that I was happy with my older, bigger car, which better suits our needs, and I can pay cheaper insurance on it because it's already paid off. He seemed surprised by the amount of taxes. After a bit of awkward silence, I finally asked, "Did your family think I'd give you the car to use?" He explained that his mom had told everyone right before I arrived that we, meaning him and I, had won the car and that he'd finally have something to drive. He admitted that he didn't think I'd actually do that, but he assumed I'd want to keep the new car simply because it was new and maybe I'd let him use my old car if he took over the insurance payments. Then he quickly added that he didn't realize the taxes would be so high. I guess his thinking made sense given what he assumed about the costs. Eventually, we agreed that selling the new car made the most sense. I asked if he was planning to explain that to his mother, and he assured me that he would. He mentioned that his mother sees us as a married couple already because she wants that so much for him and has been pushing him to propose to me. That was news to me. Neither of us feels ready for that yet. We're content with where we are in our relationship. He promised to talk to his mom and clarify everything to his family, assuring me that he wouldn't let them think any less of me, which was a concern of mine. So, he patiently waited while I dealt with the paperwork for the raffle, which ended up taking over 3 hours, and afterward, we enjoyed a lovely time strolling around the city. I treated us to a very nice dinner. It was a pleasant end to a somewhat awkward situation.